Hey, Mom, just calling to update you. I got some exciting news.
Hey, Carrot Streeter, I got your mom's phone. We're at Lisa's son's wedding.
Oh, right. How is it?
I don't know. I'm outside. Your mom had to take Helen Beazle from Iowa as her +1.
Oh, weird. Well, I'm gonna go.
Check. Yes.
Recording. Check.
Yes. Check. Me too. Okay. The date is December 10th, 2023. This is Rock Hard Caucus episode 128. In case this is anyone's first time listening to Rock Hard Caucus, Evan, what would you say this show is?
This is a snarky podcast about politics in Iowa from a leftist perspective.
Oh no. Oh no.
I know, it sounds horrible.
This is someone's first time. They just turned it off, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Snarky leftism.
Snarky, yeah. We're basically...
I guess you're right.
We're solidly to the left of ray gun, but just as snarky.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing as ray gun, but we're just like dicks about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So today I pulled up a few topics that we can discuss. We probably, I don't know, won't talk about all of them, but the first one is that there's a satanic holiday display up at the Iowa State Capitol. And I was in Des Moines yesterday. I thought about going to check it out, but I was really cold and I didn't want to leave once I arrived at a building.
So you did not bring your tribute to Satan to the
No. No.
Well, you are not highly favored then, sir.
So yeah, there's this display up in the state capitol, and there was a report on this from KCRG the other day that I thought was pretty funny. I'm going to show it to you, Evan. People listening will be able to hear it, of course. And there's really something at the end that's my favorite part that I want people to hear.
If you're visiting the Iowa Capitol building over the next couple of weeks, you might come across a holiday display that will surely grab your attention. The display is from the Satanic Temple. It features a ram's head covered with mirrors on a mannequin. Lucian Graves, co-founder of the Satanic Temple, says it's a symbol of the right to religious freedom. But one visitor says the display is shocking and evil.
We're going to really relish the opportunity to be represented in a public forum.
I'm pausing here. This is they got Lucian Graves, who is, it says, the co-founder of the Satanic Temple. I don't really know anything about this guy. However,
dude, I love the scene that we've set for him.
Right. The background of whatever like Zoom call he did with KCRG does reveal a lot.
Yeah, folding table with audio equipment on it. That's a meme it's pretty heavy right now. If you follow the dude from Wolf Eyes on Instagram.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's got one of these on a table behind him. I just happen to have the exact same product here in my room that sits behind me while we're on Zoom.
Yeah. I have put some audio equipment on a folding table before. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I get paid to do that sometimes.
Yeah, more power to you.
All right, let's hear what else he has to say. He's talking about how, Satanism is it's about religious freedom, which we can discuss more after we finish the video.
Don't have a church on every street corner.
I hope people realize spiritual warfare is real, that there are evil, satanic forces that are trying to infiltrate our state.
The Satanic Temple says the display will be up for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, great video editing there. I did not cut that off early. It's KCRG themselves that cut their reporter off mid-sentence there.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty cool shirt they're showing here. It's got like a evil goat with Satanic Temple of Iowa, and we will maintain our liberties. We prize in our rights. We will maintain.
Yeah. The Iowa slogan? Is it a slogan? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
The words that are on the Iowa flag. Yeah, but I love this lady, Shelley Flockhart, who she said, I hope that people realize spiritual warfare is real. There are evil satanic forces that are trying to infiltrate our state. While she's standing in front of a huge Christmas tree that's in the same building.
That's in the same building. I also like that her tagline on the news is just Christian. So, like, she
do anything else, or that's her whole thing? Yeah.
Yep.
So, I think I probably know the answer, but Evan, how do you feel about the Church of Satan and Satanism in general?
I think I kind of feel about it the same way as I do about the like new atheist stuff, which is like it's just a reaction to Christianity more so than its like own thing. I'm probably going to be rudely corrected on that, but because I don't know a whole lot about the background of the Satanist church or whatever organization. But it seems to me that it's more of like an outlet for trolling Christians than it is anything like serious. And like I think that like. They are generally like progressive or liberal,
right?
Using air quotes, and compared to like obviously any fundamentalist church. So
a friend of mine who has some involvement with the Iowa Satanic Temple sent me this article to let me know that this display was up and encouraged me to go visit it while I was in Des Moines. And again, sorry I didn't do that. But yeah, I find this stuff. You know, I mean, to each their own, but it's pretty corny.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of funny. It was funny when they were trying to create like a Satanist school that they could use to get like voucher money for. I mean, that's pretty funny trolling, but yeah, it's a little too snarky for my tastes.
Wow, it's too snarky even for us.
It's too snarky for us.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with them doing stuff like this because, I mean, you know, obviously, what's the point? The point is that they put up a bunch of Christian symbolism in public buildings, which is kind of fucked up.
Republicans are going to denounce it. They're going to, like, make you take it down, and then you can point at them and be like, look, they didn't take us seriously, even though we weren't really trying to be taken seriously in the first place. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people do take this stuff seriously. Like, they do the ritual type stuff, and they to some degree believe in this kind of stuff. I don't know where the wait, which group was this? This is Satanic Temple. I don't know how seriously they take the like actual religious aspects of Satanism, but it varies. I know. You said that Republicans are going to get mad about it. I like right before we started recording, I found this thanks to Johnson County Supervisor John Green's Twitter. His state representative Brad Sherman, whose name appears on every, you know, stupid regressive right-wing bill that comes out of the state house, he put out a newsletter about the satanic display at the state capitol and said, "For those who wish to worship Satan, they are free to do so on their private property. But to allow satanic expression in the state capitol and other public property is to surrender to Satan's demands for equality with God, which was his original sin." And then he cites the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 14. So he's taking this completely seriously. Like, Satan is real, and the real Satan is happy about this, and the state of Iowa is capitulating to the demands of Satan. He goes a bit further, actually. Therefore, based on the laws of God and the Constitution of the state of Iowa, and for the purpose of securing the blessings of God upon our state. And there's 3 bullet points. I'm calling for our governor to have this blasphemous display removed immediately, based on the grounds that it is unconstitutional and offends God, upon whom the state of Iowa depends for blessings. Like, yeah, I mean, I said that the Satanist stuff is like kind of corny, but this is like,
yeah,
what the fuck, man?
I mean, I think it's like, to us, it's like, yeah, like, they don't obviously care about separation of church and state. Like, most Republicans are like 100% in favor of a theocracy. So it's like,
right, yeah, very openly, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, I guess maybe the Satanist thing will convince more people to be like, oh, wow, the Republicans are actually, like, theocrats, but it's like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's most of their supporters are aware, and most of the people who
think it's good.
And they think it's good, yeah. So, but they got on the news, local news, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. I'm calling for clarifying legislation to be adopted in accordance with our state constitution that prohibits satanic displays in our Capitol building and on all state-owned property. And then I am calling for legislation to be adopted that makes it illegal to display the 10 Commandments in our Capitol. Wait, no. That makes it legal to display the 10 Commandments in our Capitol in all buildings owned by the state and in our public schools.
Yeah, so, I mean, I doubt
public
that's
schools.
like a viable, that's like a viable thing, but that's like because they did the Satanist thing, he's like, we're gonna like even further, like not only we're gonna take down your Satanist like thing, we're gonna make more Christian things in public places.
Right, yeah, which obviously that's the whole point of getting a satanic display in the state capitol, is because the state, probably every state in America, is violating the Establishment Clause. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm a big Constitution guy, but that is a pretty important part of the First Amendment, that the United States government does not officially like endorse any religion, but they do essentially all the time.
That's a holiday tree. I don't see any sort of Christian icons or anything on it. So yeah, it's a holiday tree.
I mean, yeah, I'm
Happy
fine
holidays.
with that, honestly. Like, put a fucking tree in the building. I don't care. But, like, this is like a state representative who's saying, like, oh, we will establish Christianity as, like, the official religion of the state of Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Not that you really need to goad them into doing that, but it's like...
Right, yeah. But would he have put this in his newsletter if it were not for the Satanic Temples display? I don't know.
Yeah. Surrender
to Satan's demands. That's what the state of Iowa has done by allowing this.
Yeah. I do know someone my girlfriend knows from her hometown has posted on Facebook about this, trying to get people to call Kim Reynolds' office to tell them to take it down. And apparently the person who took her call was shocked to hear about it and was going to bring her complaint to the right people as soon as possible to, I don't know.
Wait, wouldn't that be somebody who like works in that building or no?
I think she technically worked for Kim Reynolds' office, not necessarily like the whole, Capitol building.
Don't they all like live there?
I don't know. They should.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it should be. Like, if you get elected, you have to just stay in that building all the time. Mm-hmm. You don't get to have your own house anymore.
Yeah, and you have to take meetings from constituents, like, all day. Like, that's like at least 75% of your schedule has to just be meeting with constituents.
Yeah.
Whoever asks, all are welcomed.
I also want to note there's a little sign up next to the display that says, this display is not owned, maintained, promoted, supported by, or associated with the state of Iowa. And I didn't look into it at all, but I have to wonder, like, did the state of Iowa require them to put that on the display?
I mean, yeah, that seems to cover it. I don't know what the uproar is.
But it's still here. Obviously, they endorse Satan.
Yep.
If they were really a warrior against Satan, then they would not allow this to happen.
Yeah. Just like we endorse every other display inside the state house.
Yeah, do you think that giant Christmas tree has a sign similar?
Yeah. It's actually the star at the top is just a sign that says it's not associated with the state of Iowa.
Yes, this is here, but we don't like it. Another thing I thought we should talk about, since we talked at length about this before, is the situation between the Iowa Democratic Party and the University of Iowa Democrats, and their disagreement over Israel and Palestine. If you don't recall, the situation was that three officers, I think, of the University of Iowa Democrats put out a statement supporting Palestine and not supporting Israel killing everyone in Palestine, and included the phrase, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, or some paraphrase of it, a phrase that they then removed when they were criticized by whoever, and then after that, Rita Hart, chair of the Iowa Democratic Party, said that the University of Iowa Democrats were calling for a genocide of Jewish people, which made me and a lot of other people upset.
Yes, and without speaking to the people who made the statement first at all.
Right. Very reckless and shitty behavior from somebody who's like, I mean, I don't want to say powerful, but you know, she's up there. she's got resources. It's a fucking crazy thing for somebody leading a political party, a state political party, to just throw that out there in writing. Like, really nasty. Anyway, she commented on that situation last weekend, last Saturday, I think. This is a report from the Cedar Rapids Gazette by Aaron Murphy from December 4th. Calling it not an easy situation to handle and suggesting we're not all going to agree. Iowa Democratic Party State Chairwoman Rita Hart addressed the state party's recent condemnation of a pro-Palestine statement issued by college Democrats at the University of Iowa. During a meeting of the state party's leadership committee on Saturday, Hart addressed criticism of the state party's call for the resignation of leadership for the University Democrats after the group released a pro-Palestine statement, blah, blah, blah. Okay, some Iowa Democrats, including among party leadership, have pushed back on the state party's response. The party's Arab American Caucus criticized the state party and accused the party of misrepresenting the University Democrats' statement. And here's where it gets into the quotes from Rita Hart. Do you think she apologized? Do you think that's she thought that might be necessary?
No. No. It's a complicated situation. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I understand that not everybody agreed with the way that was handled, Hart said during Saturday's meeting. I want you to understand that was not an easy situation to handle.
Okay.
I mean,
it's like
I suppose, yeah.
Okay, so that's like a pattern for like public officials where they like make some decision like that, and then they're like trying to be sympathetic because it was a hard decision. Well, it's like you made the decision, you kind of have to live with the consequences of it. I'm not really like sympathetic to that. Like it's like the I'm a small bean defense.
Yeah. Look, I understand that you're upset with me for the decision that I made.
We had to tell these people to resign. Like, there is no other, like...
It was very hard for me. That's why I did it very quickly. As soon as that statement was criticized by Jeff Kaufman of the Iowa Republican Party.
As soon as the Republicans said anything about it, then we had to
She didn't act like
them.
it was a difficult decision. Like, I don't know, the tone of that statement that they made, calling for the resignation of some college volunteers, seemed very confident. Like, it didn't seem like they anticipated that this would make anyone mad. Right.
Yeah, they didn't even pay any, like, lip service to, like, oh, like, we know, like, the intent behind this. There was, like, nope, you're just endorsing genocide straight up. Like, there was, like, zero attempt to, like, reconcile it at all.
Yeah, no. It seemed like they viewed this as a very cut and dry situation. Like, there's only one side to this, Israel. Not everyone's going to be in agreement on it, Hart said. That's unfortunate. But I don't think there's any way that's not going to be true. We're not all going to agree on that. I don't know that she's actually saying anything there.
No, absolutely not. You could say the same thing about, anything. Literally anything.
It is unfortunate that we don't all agree on everything.
I know. That is another Democrat trope. Like, I don't know. They have this idea that, like, eventually everyone will agree. That's, like, the end goal, is that we have a system that looks more or less the same, but everyone agrees that it's actually good. That's, like, the end goal of liberal politics.
Yeah. Yeah, are we working towards improving the world that we live in, or are we working towards educating everyone so that they can have the proper perspective on how this is actually the way that it should be? We're doing our best here.
Yes, 100%.
She's kind of right, though. It is unfortunate that we are not all in agreement.
Yeah.
That those college students are calling for a genocide. It would be so much easier if we all thought that.
Yeah.
Hart said her hope is that while Democrats may disagree on whether the state party's condemnation of the College Democrat statement was appropriate, that it can be a respectful disagreement that does not fracture the state party. I think it's a little late for that.
Yeah, again, it's like, oh, it's your fault that you fractured the state party by daring to make a statement in support of Palestinians.
Right.
And it's definitely not on us for anything like calling for your resignation or implying that you're like terrorists. Definitely. Divisiveness is all on you.
Look, you can be mad at me, but don't like quit the party. Except for the people that we asked to resign. Everybody else, please stay in the party. Don't be so divisive.
Yeah.
You can disagree with what I said, but please, God, don't leave the party. Don't fracture the Democratic Party over this, over our steadfast support for a genocidal apartheid regime.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's fucking bleak because, you know, they're going to obviously, like, if and when Biden, loses, it's going to probably have a lot to do with what's happening in Gaza. And they're definitely going to blame, like, anyone who didn't vote because of that. Again, It's just the same playbook, but yeah, it's tired. I think we need new leadership. I think Rita Hart is not the one.
Clearly
I think the Iowa Democrats need to wean off of their addiction to like the national party. Like, I feel like the caucus is really, like completely fucked over the Democratic Party because they're like, they don't like it. So much of it is just about like, promoting the state and the caucuses and like shaking hands with all the candidates and stuff than it is about like actually building anything here.
Yeah, and that shit's over for the Democrats, at least. The Republican caucus is still, I mean, even though it's not a competitive race at all, it's still like they're all coming here and giving awful speeches all the time. But yeah, the Democrats, like, you don't have that anymore. So if you want to still be something relevant, like, you need to find something else to spend all your effort and time on.
Yeah. Here's a question.
What are they doing? I don't know.
Do you think that Zach Walz would have handled this any better? I kind of think he might have. I think he might have done. I think he would have done basically the same thing, but I think he might have, like I said in the actual statement, tried to like soften it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he would have just immediately fired off a fucking. Yeah, our college supporters are genocidal. He's a little bit more in touch with younger people. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, not much, but yeah, I can imagine. We're disappointed with the University of Iowa chapter.
He was once young, and people know. People remember that he was young, so he has he has more of a reputation to think about. Check this out. This is very Democrat also. I know there is disappointment, and people have expressed that. I've listened. I hear the objections. I've tried to learn from this experience, and I hope we can all move forward together. What did you learn?
Yeah.
You've listened and you hear the objections. What did you hear? And what did you learn from hearing that?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, this cowardice is not winning any elections anytime soon. Like, it's just like, she's doing the work. She's done her homework. It's like so transparent.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Did she learn anything? Maybe she learned sometimes you don't have to make a statement.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's the best thing to learn.
Yeah, maybe you didn't need to wade into this.
Yeah, and I understand, like, it's the Iowa Democratic Party is never going to say, like,
we fucked
they're
up.
never going to say what we want them to say on this subject.
Well, yeah, that too.
They're also, never going to admit fault. But yeah, you could just not say anything, and that would put you ahead of most Democrats.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, that would still be cowardly, but it would be more honest cowardice.
Yeah. In an interview last week, UI senior and University Democrats treasurer, Matthew Charles, so this is one of the people who signed the statement, told the Gazette that Hart didn't communicate with the students who signed the statement before she demanded they resign, which I think you said a few minutes ago. This is a quote from him. The part that is extremely harmful about their statement is that they didn't ask us to resign because we'd made a mistake or used a phrase that we shouldn't have used. They said, let's be clear, that is a call for Jewish genocide. They're saying unambiguously, these people are calling for Jewish genocide, which obviously is not true. And he says, if anything, we made a mistake and used a few words that we shouldn't have, which I, of course, disagree with. I don't think they did anything wrong at all with their initial statement. It's just horseshit.
Absolute horseshit.
Like, saying that Palestinians should be free is not in any way a genocidal statement. No.
What is genocidal is like selling a bunch of tank munitions to Israel without the authority of Congress so that they can continue to like, ethnic cleanse. And like, it's getting worse every day. Like, there's no turning back. Like they've stuck to what they're like. Biden isn't about to change his mind on this because it's like he's already in too deep. And they can say, oh, yeah, we care about humanitarian, like we're trying to get humanitarian assistance in. And like if they are, it's not even close to enough. And it doesn't even mean shit when you're supporting, like they said also, I think I saw today that like they're not doing anything to like keep tabs on whether Israel is complying with international law. They're just arming them and trusting that they're going to do the right thing, which they are absolutely not.
Yeah, because if they were monitoring it, like they would have fucking concrete evidence that they're every day not following international law.
Right.
Just turn your head.
Admit it. Yeah.
Cover your ears. Yeah. Hey, we trust them. We trust them. Don't you trust them?
Yeah.
Why should we watch?
And you wonder why people are fucking cynical. Like it's honestly absurd.
Yeah. I'm glad that this University Democrat, Matthew Charles, said it's obviously not true that we called for Jewish genocide. Like, I'm glad that he's not equivocating on that at all. Like, the statement that Rita Hart put out is just a blatant lie.
Yeah, it's a fucking smear.
Yeah. God, just every time I think more about this, it's just so annoying. Like, you fucking said some kids were like calling for a Holocaust, and now you're like, oh, hey, I almost said sorry. Obviously, she didn't say sorry. Mm-hmm. She said, hey, it was difficult for me to do that. Mm-hmm. How can you be so mad at me? Like, I'm doing my best.
Yep.
I'm going to read this last quote from her, which I think is also a lie. I recognize as many of you do how important it is to have a good relationship and to foster the youth vote. These young people are the future of the party, and we need to have a good relationship with them, and we need to have a working relationship with them. And that's what we're going to have moving forward. We're all looking forward to making that relationship stronger as we go forward. That's the good news that has come out of what I would consider a very tough political situation. Mm-hmm. What? The good news? The good news is that I want the young people to like me in the party still. That's the good news.
Yeah.
They clearly don't and are leaving over this.
Yeah. I mean, like, of all things, like, in government, like, foreign policy is, like, the least susceptible to public pressure. I mean, not that any of the other areas are particularly susceptible to public pressure. But, like, it's not possible to reconcile unless the actual policy changes. And it's, like, not... Unless the policy changes, people are like, I mean, like that would be like the absolute like bare minimum thing to like get any of these people who are upset about it back on board.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, Rita Hart also recognizes she's powerless to change the direction of the Biden administration on this. Mm-hmm. She probably doesn't care either. I don't think she wants it to be any different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least, I don't know, some of these people can see that like, this is, if young people are the future of this party, well, I don't think they're going to be, because they don't want to be a part of this. Polling, anyway, shows that young people of voting age want nothing to do with this. So they're actually not going to be the future of this party.
Yeah. And if there was some sort of organization of young voters who all banded together and said, we're not going to vote for Democrats unless this changes, they would, I'm 90% sure they would tell them to fuck off and call them like pseudo Republicans. Like that is.
Yeah. I mean, anytime there's anyone saying anything like that, not that there's ever like a large enough number of people organizing to do something like that. But whenever any like individual person says that, or any small number of people, or if anyone says like, hey, you know, like Muslim Americans may not be super excited about this. Mm-hmm. Like, well, fuck it. Just
vote for Trump.
We don't
then
care. Yeah,
vote for Trump. Literally vote for Trump.
Yeah. Let's lose that whole demographic. You want to talk about Vivek?
Yeah, that's a lighter topic.
Yeah. I mean, this is funny. He may be trying to get the libertarian nomination.
That's good. He's so libertarian with his fucking 10 Commandments.
That's what I thought we could maybe get into with this. Like, in what way?
Vivek 10 Commandments at the State House. If he becomes president, he's going to demand that they put that in every state house in the country.
Yeah. I haven't been watching the Republican debates. It doesn't seem fun enough to spend the time. But the clips I've seen have shown like Vivek getting stomped on by like Nikki Haley and Chris Christie a bunch.
Yeah.
I remember when we went to the state fair and we saw him speak, I was like afraid of him. He seemed like a fairly savvy, like charismatic kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Seemed like he could get people to follow him. But I think time has shown that the American people are a little bit more conscious of tryhards.
Yeah.
like they can tell that this guy is just like a geek, and he is just very transparently saying things that he thinks they want to hear to make them excited.
Yeah. And it's a lot more contrived than like Trump's whole thing, which has been in the public consciousness for decades. It makes like he doesn't have the same, I mean, like authentic lack of authenticity.
Right. Yeah. With Trump, it's much more effortless. Like, it's clear he's like every few years he was just changing with the winds. Like, and it's really like since Obama was elected that Trump became this like racist right wing guy. But yeah, it's I don't know. He just like effortlessly throws shit out there and sees what sticks. Vivek is like trying too hard. It's very clear that he's putting a lot of effort into saying exactly the right things to like piss people off or make a certain other people excited. It's less of a just like off the dome throwing shit out there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
More calculated.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not working. He got some attention for a while, but now he's flailing. He's not succeeding in the Republican primary. So here's an article from the Des Moines Register by Galen Becarier, I'm sorry, and Philip Jones.
Philip Jones, well, that's easy.
That one's not so bad, but it's spelled Joens. Anyway, they write, Vivek Ramaswamy, libertarian candidate? ? In Iowa, his campaign flirts with a third-party run. Republican candidate Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign has reached out to the Libertarian Party in Iowa to inquire about running for president on the party's ticket. Campaign operatives for Ramaswamy attended a local party event this week, and Ramaswamy has had conversations with 2 Iowa Libertarian officials, including one instance where he expressed interest in joining the ticket. One of the officials confirmed. So I guess that they inquired about this. The Register asked him, asked Thursday if he would run under the Libertarian ticket should he be defeated in the Republican race. Ramaswamy told the Register no. But he held out the possibility that the Libertarian Party might nominate him. And this is great, like just smarmy bullshit. I expect to get the GOP nomination, Ramaswamy said. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
He expects to win 60% of the general election vote, too.
Yeah. You don't expect that. But then he continues. I have strong libertarian instincts. I can't stop them from nominating me, and I would be proud if they did. And then Tricia McLaughlin, who is his spokesperson, said that the campaign is focused on bringing libertarians in to support Ramaswamy in the Republican caucus. So that's what they were trying to do. They weren't, it says that he spoke with Ryan Kurt, who is the chair of the Polk County Libertarian Party. And Kurt basically snitched on him and said that Ramaswamy told him that he might be interested in pursuing the libertarian ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also said, I told him if you're going to do that, you might want to start talking to some libertarians. And then it sounds like Vivek sent some of his campaign representatives to a Polk County Libertarian Party meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Ramaswamy told the Register he hadn't known his staff had attended the event, but he approved of their doing so.
This guy, he's so funny. Like, his whole thing, I think he's like just trying to get any leverage he can over conservative politics. Like, at first, he has zero chance of winning. He knows that.
Right.
I think he first was like trying to get Trump's VP thing, but like now seems like maybe that's not in the cards. And now he's like, think of like how much, like, he wants to play the spoiler,
maybe, yeah.
He wants to, like I said, have any kind of leverage over like the conservative political sphere that he can. And if it means he has to run as a libertarian to like get them to like take him seriously, then he's willing to do it.
Yeah. And it seems to be entirely personal, like for his own personal gain, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
He doesn't seem to really care that much about anything except for his own status.
Yeah.
So the Libertarian Party of Iowa released a statement. I would love to know our friend, what's his name? The Libertarian gubernatorial candidate.
Rick Stewart.
Yeah, I would love to know Rick Stewart's thoughts on this. Like, he was, when we talked to him at the fair, he was pretty happy about the Republican candidates.
Yeah. Well, I think the Libertarian Party has like become more and more, like, ever since Ron Paul, there's like really nothing that separates libertarians from Republicans at this point. Like, how many libertarians fell in line with Trump, like, right off the bat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't really think the principles are having anything to do with it.
Right. There are, abortion and drug libertarians, but that seems to go out the window.
I mean, Ramaswamy is talking about fucking amending the Constitution, which I think any libertarian would be like horrified by if they actually did have any principles.
If they actually gave a shit. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. I was saying the Libertarian Party of Iowa released a statement regarding the recent approach by the Ramaswamy campaign. And they said that this is a testament to the growing recognition that the spectrum of American political discourse must encompass diverse perspectives, particularly those centered on individual liberty.
Mm-hmm.
The Vivek Ramaswamy campaign, that's very focused on individual liberty. That's why he's such a good fit for them. I'm going to pull up his 10 Commandments. I think, anyway. His website kind of sucks. You would think of all, like, come on, this is a guy that can make a website, right?
Yeah. Fucking, what's the, Squarespace or whatever the fuck it is.
Okay, so this is, what was it? Personal liberty, or what did I say?
Individual
liberty. Yeah. God is real. That's, of course, number one. All right. What about individuals who think God is not real?
Well, we discriminate against them. That's libertarian values at work.
Yeah. Libertarians are not into religious freedom at all.
Nope. Fuck that.
Vivek Commandment number 2. There are 2 genders. All right. What about individuals who are a third gender? Or neither of the 2 that you were referring to? What about them?
Well, we discriminate against them.
Do they have the individual liberty to abstain from traditional gender?
They get a second Bill of Rights that is much shorter.
A second class Bill of Rights.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, human flourishing requires fossil fuels. This one's a little more complicated.
Well, I think individuals' liberty is kind of foundational on having like an environment where individual liberties can thrive. And I think planet where there's lack of water, lack of arable farmland, I think that's kind of infringes on personal liberty or individual liberty at some point.
Well, what you're saying there, that does not sound to me like a libertarian perspective, because you're basically valuing the collective over the individual. Like if I, as an individual, if I have a big monster truck and I want to drive that monster truck to work every day, I have to burn fossil fuels to do it. And it is my individual liberty to do that.
Hey, buddy, get a diesel truck. Problem solved.
And since I am in a monster truck, I am dominating city traffic. I can run over the other vehicles, and that is my right as an individual. Oh, no, wait, that's destruction of property. Like the one thing that
that's right. But if like floodwaters like destroy someone's home, that's an act of nature. It wasn't caused by some actions of individuals.
Wait. So you're saying that I'm an individual, but you are also an individual? Number 4 is reverse racism is racism.
I think any libertarian actually that one's probably completely compatible with libertarian.
I think
libertarian thought.
We all have the individual liberty to be racist. This one may rub some libertarians the wrong way. An open border is no border. Vivek's perspective on that, of course, is that we should have a stronger, more closed border.
Yeah. I think you're going to run into problems with some of the libertarian think tanks, which don't really recognize borders and really are kind of into like getting cheap labor wherever they can. So, sometimes you kind of have to import people who are, willing to accept a lower wage.
People who could be taken advantage of.
Core tenet of libertarian philosophy.
Right. Yeah. Parents determine the education of their children. I can imagine some libertarians having some internal disagreements about this one. Yeah.
Well, I think the libertarians are way into homeschooling because you definitely don't want the government to raise your child and indoctrinate them.
Yeah. I think they would be into the homeschooling aspect of that for sure. Do the rights of parents trump the rights of children? Now that's
a tough one for libertarians.
If you go far enough, libertarians advocate you should be able to sell your own children, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, if the child wants to, the child has liberty. So if the child is fine with, being sold, then it's fine. If there's a contract, that's
a fair contract. Yeah.
Yeah. They sign it with their little they ink their feet and they.
What's the age of consent for consenting to being sold as property? At what age can a child
conception?
Right. Okay. They understand from birth, or actually pre-birth, is what you're saying. That they.
Well, again, you got to think of them. They're libertarians, so life begins at conception. It's not. There is no pre-birth. That is when life starts.
Do all libertarians think that?
I don't think all of them do, but I mean, again, they're the same as Republicans. So I'm pretty sure, if you were to poll the majority of Republicans or libertarians, that they would be, pro-life.
Yeah. That's the thing about this.
Because you'd be, having an abortion is destroying a life, and that's a violation of the non-aggression principle.
Right, denying the individual liberty of the fetus. Mm-hmm. The thing about this ideology is that the libertarian values their own personal liberties over anyone else's personal liberties. At the end of the day, the reason you're a libertarian instead of a Republican is because you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I guess the difference would be that the Republicans think the Republican Party, if they control the government, then they will be able to provide the most freedom for the individual, versus the Libertarian Party believes in exactly the same thing. They're anti-government until they actually have power.
Mm-hmm. What about number 7? The nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to mankind. I think this is pretty libertarian.
Yeah, for sure.
The family instead of the government is basically what he's saying there. Yeah. But what about the individual liberty of a single childless adult man? There's plenty of libertarians who fit that description.
Right.
Number 8, capitalism lifts people up from poverty. Obviously, they're going to love that one.
Oh, yeah.
There are 3 branches of the U.S. government, not 4. That's an anti-deep state thing. I imagine in vague principle, libertarians are probably down with that perspective. Do you think that they would want more or less branches of government?
Oh, less. There should be one branch of government, the Libertarian Party.
And what is their responsibility?
Promote individual freedom.
That's the government's only role.
They're military. What was, I think, didn't Rick Stewart have, because we talked about whether he wanted to get rid of the Voice for America public radio.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he gave us kind of a priorities list, right?
Yeah, but I think every libertarian agrees, military. We need the military. But outside of that, I don't think they really, if you have enough money, you can do whatever you want, basically.
Mm-hmm. And why do we need a military? To protect our personal, individual liberty.
Yep.
Other people must be killed in order for us to maintain our high levels of liberty.
Yep.
Number 10, the U.S. Constitution is the strongest guarantor of freedoms in history. Yep, they're probably cool with that, too.
Yeah.
And then it shows a few episodes of the Vivek show, which is like his podcast. On October 24th, he did an interview with Alex Jones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, wow. And Alex Jones used to be kind of a libertarian kind of guy.
Yeah, definitely had some appeal.
I don't know that he's so much a libertarian anymore. He kind of went all in on Trump.
He might be more of a libertarian, though, because the whole, what was it, a divorce thing? What was the court thing with him and his kids or something? Family court turns people into libertarians real fast.
Yeah. Anti-child support. That's a libertarian position. I should have the personal right to choose whether or not to pay my ex-wife to take care of our children.
Right.
What value is she providing me by taking care of our children? I should be able to decide what's a fair wage for that. The ex-husband as small business owner, the small business of child rearing. I'm the manager and my ex-wife is my employee. And I guess Vivek has sort of distinguished himself from other Republicans by talking about eminent domain and the pipeline stuff. So in that way, he has appealed to Iowa libertarians.
Yeah, eminent domain is a big one for them too.
Yeah. Well, maybe, we got a voicemail that's sort of relevant to that. Maybe we should take that on now.
Sounds good.
So this is a voicemail we got just a couple days ago. This was on Friday.
What's up, dudes? So I just found out a secret. And the secret is that Vivek Ramaswamy's family and campaign team is staying in my apartment building. What would Mavis Nipper do? What should I do? My current plan is nothing, and I don't think anything's going to change, but curious to your thoughts.
Well, for starters, I think you have the right idea. You should probably do nothing.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I think Mavis Nipper would accuse them of kidnapping their children or in keeping them if your apartment has a fitness room,
She would make false accusations against the Ramaswamy
false accusations, and then you'd have
family.
the police show up, and that could be get you in trouble. So maybe not a good one.
So yeah, he said that Vivek's family and campaign staff are all living in the same building as him. That'd be a very interesting situation. But
bug every public area.
Yeah, keep an eye out. I'd say that. Maybe get one of those Ring doorbells for your apartment. I wouldn't usually endorse such a thing, but yeah, as to what Mavis would do, you'd have to maybe ask her. I think that Evan had the right idea. She would start making false accusations and stuff.
Yeah. I think
what else can you do? Lay some booby traps on your own residence, not in the public areas, but just in case.
Play the Pakistani national anthem very loudly in your apartment, and if you see him or any of his campaign people, say "Salam alaikum" and see how he reacts.
Yeah, see if maybe you could score some free merch. They probably got like boxes and boxes of hats around that say "Truth." You could get some update your wardrobe.
Yeah.
I wonder how much time they're actually spending, like, at home, you know? Because they're campaigning full time, probably driving all over the state. So I imagine those rooms are staying vacant a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's interesting. An apartment? Yeah, it's like, you need to talk to your landlord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be I have some concerns about the new neighbors that just moved in.
See if they got like a group deal.
Yeah.
And maybe you could get a reduction on your rent if you like talk to the Vivek people and say like, hey, did you guys get like a bulk discount for renting all the rooms in the building? Could I get in on that? Could you like pretend to hire me, just fill out some paperwork and like, you know?
Yeah.
That's a great idea, actually. And then when everyone else leaves and you're still there, the landlord will be like, but then he'll grandfather you in at your current rate. He'd have to. Although if I was the landlord and Vivek Ramaswamy and his campaign were inquiring about renting, I would definitely increase my rates for them. He's got a lot of money to spend. Obviously, this is a vanity campaign.
Yeah.
He's blowing his fortune on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like seems like they would usually do like a hotel. Probably get like better discounts usually, but yeah, maybe Vivek just doesn't care and he's spending.
Yeah, or whoever called us lives in a hotel. I guess I don't think he was specific about what kind of building it was, but if you're living in a hotel, you could give us a call at 319-849-8733. Tell us all about living in a hotel. What it's like to cohabitate with Republican campaigns trying desperately to win the Iowa caucus.
Yeah.
Speaking of the caucus, that's not very far away. The date of the caucus is January 15th. There's still a few candidates left in the Republican field. Well, the Democrats is just Joe Biden, Dean Phillips, and Marianne Williamson. Who the fuck is Dean Phillips?
Big Dean, dude. He's catching on, I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't really know that much about Dean Phillips other than he's like, they're not letting him, they're not having any debates. And
okay.
Like I think he's like in the middle of like some lawsuit with the, yeah, and I think he said some shit about Biden and like a bunch of Democrats have been attacking him. Like he said, he called Biden a threat to democracy, which I mean,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know he's a member of Congress. Is he Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay. But from what little I know of him, he's not like primarying Biden from the left.
No, I think he's just trying to get name recognition. Like,
of course, yeah.
I don't know anything about his actual politics.
Mm-hmm. Kennedy, of course, is running as an independent now, unfortunately. I did see an RFK campaign sticker a couple blocks north of my house, which I thought was pretty interesting, like on a street sign.
There was a Tim Scott sign very close to my house that was up for like a week before he dropped out and has since disappeared.
I wonder if that was like a campaign employee.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So the Republicans, obviously my favorite candidate Perry Johnson dropped out a while ago, so my original plan's not going to work out. I cannot caucus for Perry Johnson, but I mean, my plan is to go to the Republican caucus on January 15th. It's going to be a little more competitive, and they're doing like in-person voting.
Yeah.
So possibly something interesting will happen. But the candidates, as it stands today, are Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Chris Christie, Asa Hutchinson, and Ryan Binkley. I think of those still standing, voting for Ryan Binkley would be funny.
Yeah, Ryan Binky.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised that he's still running. I didn't have any idea. I kind of assumed he'd already dropped out by now because he hasn't qualified for any of the debates. And
yeah, he was definitely a Perry tier candidate, right?
Like below Perry.
Just,
honestly. He didn't have Big and Rich on his side. Like,
true.
He just had some mega church like in Texas. Like that's all he had.
Right. Yeah. His were the ones, the WTF hats. Those were Ryan Binky.
Yeah. Which stands for who the fuck.
I would not expect him to still be running on January 15th. I don't know. I think actually technically Doug Burgum is still like going to be a candidate in the Iowa caucuses because he dropped out too late to be like off of the ballots and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's possible to still vote for Doug Burgum even though he has dropped out of the race.
And you can't write in, is that right? I guess you can't. Yeah, it's like because it's Republican, like they have to have like filed with the party, right?
I think so. I don't know. I think maybe you could write someone in, but it wouldn't last past the first round because it's still like caucus rules.
Right. I mean, you could just deface the ballot with just like pro Perry artwork.
just descend this caucus.
Just abolish the FBI and what did he end his speech with? What was his like catchphrase? Oh my God.
It wasn't this, but it was something close to "Don't worry, be happy."
Yeah.
It's like "Enjoy life" was part of it.
Yes, I think it was just "Enjoy life."
Yeah.
And let's God bless America and God bless everything around us because by golly, we are the greatest country that ever lived. And let's keep it that way. Hey, 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 let's do it. Let's do it now because we are going to win this next election. Let's do it.
Yeah, I wonder what they would do. I guess they'd probably just throw it out. But it would be fun if the precinct caucus just descends into madness because they don't know what to do with the undercover saboteur in the crowd. I'm also a little worried that, I mean, I don't know how many Republicans live around here. It's not going to be a huge number of people, I don't think.
Well, isn't it just basically like a normal like polling station? Like you just go in, like you don't have to stick around for the whole meeting if you don't want to, right?
No, but it is like you have to be. Well, anyway, I mean, how it was the one time I went to a Republican caucus, it was like everyone had to vote at the same time.
Yeah.
But you can leave after that's done.
Oh, okay.
But I can't like really hide in a big crowd.
Okay. Yeah. So they like wait till the doors are closed and then they have everyone vote.
I think so. Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
Go for it.
Even if I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I know where I live. There's plenty of Republicans. So
yeah. I definitely will not vote for Trump, DeSantis, Nikki Haley, or Vivek. I'm willing to vote for Chris Christie. I think that's funny enough.
Yeah. Yeah. He's out there. He's having fun slandering the other candidates. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of funny. I agree. I don't think we should take the time to discuss the Brenna Bird situation, but I will bring these back.
Give him the bird.
Gotta give him the bird.
Give them all the bird.
All right, just having a little fun. She and I think 12 other state attorney generals sent a letter to several big media organizations like the New York Times and accused them of funding terrorism, Hamas specifically. Yeah. That's the whole situation. She's she's an idiot. She wants to raise her own public profile. That's pretty much the whole story.
Yeah. The only time I see her is on TV. Sometimes she's doing anti-drunk driving PSAs, which is like, yeah.
Why her?
I guess that's her job. Like,
it's the law,
Attorney
right?
General, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. I have not encountered those. But yeah, if you want to read more about that, I'll include links to a couple of articles in the extended show notes, which you can get on our Patreon in a free post. You don't have to pay for the works cited posts that I put on there when we release these episodes. That's patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. And there will be a link straight to the notes in the more condensed notes that appear here in the free feed. I don't know if I've ever explained that like verbally on the show before.
Right.
But that's about it. That's all we really have to talk about right now. If you live in Iowa City or nearby, I would encourage you to attend the city council meeting this Tuesday, December 12th, because the area police organizations have been going wild, arresting protesters and shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to go to the city council meeting to talk to them about it.
Yeah, that's
It'd be nice to have big numbers.
Majorly fucked up.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a bigger problem when they actually arrest and book people and keep them overnight and stuff, and like hurt them physically. But a weird thing that happened last night is that Oliver, a friend of ours, he's been on the show a few times, he was observing a situation at the Johnson County Jail, like not participating in any kind of demonstration or anything there, and they just like cuffed him for standing nearby. And they started booking him, and then like 15 minutes later they were like, oh, this was a mistake, bye, and they just let him go. Like, what? You can't just do that, right?
When it comes to the criminal justice system, you'll find that a lot of things that you just can't do are like not really that like strong and fast of rules.
Right.
But yeah, that seems like pretty textbook like intimidation. If like I find it hard to believe that was actually a mistake. It was more
they know
like
who he is.
We know that we don't actually have any charges that would actually ever stick in a million years. So we're just gonna like fuck with you because we interpret that you're fucking with us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They know him. Like they address him by name every time they see him. So anyway,
and
that would be a
good thing
good
is
thing.
I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think.
You don't think he'll be intimidated?
No, I don't think he'll be intimidated.
Yeah. And also, big news, Donald Trump himself is going to be here in Coralville on December 13th, this Wednesday. And that's going to be within walking distance of my house. So I'm going to go and check it out. I'm going to check out the scene.
Ugh.
It's been a couple years since I saw Trump in person. I'm interested in seeing, like, obviously he's, a couple years ago when Natalie and I saw him in Des Moines, we came away with the impression that he was fading. Like his time was coming to an end, maybe, as a political figure. I think we were definitely wrong about that. Or he turned things around. Like he's definitely on the rise again.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Part of it, I think, is just the amount of time since all that shit happened that people have already like forgotten. It's not like he's not. Surprisingly, there's been like more important news events than Trump's election that have been kind of dominating things.
Yeah.
Or his campaign. So like, yeah, I don't know. And also I think a lot of it is just like in comparison to Biden. Like it's not even that Trump is like in a stronger position so much as Biden is in a weak position, and people are anxious about it because they know that he's going to win the Republican nomination. Like, yeah.
Biden's been sinking himself for the past couple of months hard. Anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see another Trump rally where he's like winning again, because the last one was him just bitching about the stolen election, and now it's like, well, I'm about to make my comeback and win again. So yeah, if you live nearby and you want to hang out with me at a Trump rally, let me know. I would not recommend it necessarily.
Protect our boy. Just bring like a bodyguard.
We have a P.O. box if you want to send us any handwritten letters. P.O. Box 5336, Coralville, Iowa 52241. We'd love to hear from you. Again, the phone number is 319-849-8733. If Vivek Ramaswamy lives in your house, let us know about it. And closing music this week, I'm just going to play Haploid again.
All right. Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. We actually hung out last night at the show. It was great. Really enjoy the new album.
Yeah, the new Haploid is really good, and I'm not just saying that because I played on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that is part of why I like it.
That's part of why I like it too. But I've seen them twice playing without you, so and I enjoyed those as well. So
yeah.
I think I told you at the show that that was the most melodically I've ever heard you manipulate your saxophone.
You did say that, yeah. And I was playing in the key of G sharp minor for some of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And yeah, it also features other people who have been on our show. David Clare plays trumpet on the new album. The new Haploid album is called Villains Amiss, by the way. And we're talking about the record release show that happened last night. David Clare played trumpet, and Bridget Botkin she does some guest vocals on it. And she was on stage the whole night last night.
Yeah.
Not the whole night, but the whole Haploid set.
Yeah, former podcast guest as well.
Yes, she's been on here a few months ago. We could probably get her back on sometime.
Yeah.
She's a good hang. Anyway, this is going to be an excerpt from Fourscore Insectivore, the 20-minute closer from the new Haploid album, Villains Amiss. And this has been Rock Hard Caucus, and we'll see you later.
Yes, sir.